Alrighty, welcome to the Saturday afternoon press conference here for our Pro Shifter drivers, Josh Conker, AJ Myers, Billy Musgrave. Welcome, fellas, up here to the patio at MCC. We'll start left to right. Josh, I would say a good qualifying day for you and a good showing throughout the heats. You know, summarize your weekend up to this point, and you know what's clicked for you guys this weekend under the Maranello tent.
Yeah, like I'd say it's been a really good weekend so far. Historically, I've been relatively decent here. It's been one of my better tracks on the schedule. So I was really looking forward to the weekend coming in. Thankfully, this race, I was able to get some testing in beforehand. When we went to Texas, I think it was 6 months out of the go-kart. So it was a big learning curve back with the Maranello guys for Texas. Just relearning the chassis and kind of getting comfortable with myself in the kart again. So having the opportunity to do Texas and running relatively well there and being able to test beforehand, I think everything's just kind of clicking like it used to. We're all getting back in the swing of things. I'm working with Carlos exactly like we used to, and having Billy on the same engines helps too, because we get to share the data and kind of go over everything like that like we were doing last year. So I think it's just a combination of multiple things, but I'm definitely feeling confident in the package and confident in our ability to do well here.
AJ, over to you. This is a racetrack I think that you've been good at for many years. You've raced here across various national series across the U.S. What about this track is it that you like so much, and what brings the Magic Kart package to life here at MCC?
Yeah, I mean it's been a good track for me over the years as well, and it's a very fun track to drive. It's very bumpy, and it's kind of a physical track to drive, so I think that kind of suits me and how I drive. I can control the kart a lot. A lot of guys like more grip. This has got grip, but you're flying over curbs and flying in the air. So, yeah, I lost it.
It's all good. We'll move over to Billy as well. Last time we were here, across various national series, you were a race winner here, and you put yourself in a top 5 position so far today. Talk about your day so far and how it's gone for you.
Yeah, I mean, it out really well. We tried something really different for the Super Bowl format, because that's been something that I've always struggled with, since we've implemented that program. So in the past, I've always been really good in the normal quality, and then kind of dropped the ball a little bit in the green-white checkered shootout. So this time I kind of gambled and did something a little bit different on the setup and with the way I drove the tires in the first run, and just kind of barely slipped in to the Super Bowl. And then, yeah, had a really good lap in the Super Bowl. Honestly, there was, more in it, so I was really happy with that and the way I drove. So going into heat races, I had pretty high expectations, and kind of, since Thursday, Friday, I've been waiting for the track to kind of come to me. Looking back to last year, there was way more grip, much hotter weather, a lot more rubber coming down. So this year, obviously rain on Thursday, probably 25, 30 degrees cooler than it was last year. And the track's just real slick. So, it's a smooth asphalt, not a lot of aggregate, not a lot of open rock. So the track stays pretty slippery until, enough heat, enough rubber, and then it'll grip up. And I've been kind of waiting all day, waited through the first heat for that moment to happen, and what didn't really happen, made a couple small changes, kind of hoping it was going to come in for the second heat, and the track actually just went the kind of exact opposite way. So we were all kind of, joking around before we started this, and it's like, yeah, we were waiting for the, sun to come out and the grip to come down, but honestly, it seems like the track's just kind of getting a little bit skatier. Not quite greasy, but in that direction. So, yeah, I mean, halfway through that second heat, I kind of figured out, pretty much what was going on. Came back after, talked with Josh for a while, came up with a pretty good game plan, so made some pretty good changes for tomorrow, and I think we'll be right back in it.
Billy, back to you. Has the way this track's progressed over the course of the weekend, is that characteristic to how MCC usually is, or is it a little bit different this weekend?
I mean, my only experience here was the 2 races last year. And I know for the Pro Tour race, it was, from my experience, pretty grippy the whole time. I mean, it was hot, it was 85, 90 degrees or whatever, and nice and sunny. And I just remember being fast basically from the moment we unloaded, like standard setup. Man, the car was rolling. Our car's a little bit on the stiffer side, so, my days back at Cal Speed with crazy high rubber, that's kind of what I like and what we built the car off of. So, last year there was just a lot more static grip naturally. And yeah, from the moment we set the car down on Thursday, I just was like, wow, this is a totally different animal. And these smooth tracks, when like I talk about the aggregate and the asphalt, when it's cold outside and you don't have that track surface temperature, man, they're skaty. So, yeah, just kind of figuring out, what the car's doing. The car's just being a little bit too stiff, and we're getting a little bit too much flex out of the wrong parts on the car. So, yeah, I mean, I think we know where we're at, so we made some pretty good changes.
I want to touch on what we kind of discussed before the presser here, where you and Josh were, running different gears for the last couple of corners. All three of you guys slightly different lines as well compared to other drivers on the circuit. So why do you feel like that is for you guys as a whole? And you and Josh obviously working together now with the same engine. So, what do you think is the difference between you guys and the rest of the field?
I mean, that's, in Pro Shifter, that's part of the program. So, no matter what chassis you're on, your job as a driver is to, figure out its strengths and weaknesses and, drive your best around it. So, I've driven that, those last 2 hairpins probably about 30 or 40 different ways over the last 3 days. And I haven't found one that's worked quite yet, but I think I'm onto something. But no, that's the difference is, at this level, I mean, you have to be perfect as a driver, and this is one of the tracks I would honestly say is one of the more punishing tracks, and I don't think I've done a perfect lap yet this weekend. I'm sure most of us probably would say the same. I mean, this track is, one small little mistake, and there goes a 10th or 2 or even 3 if you mess up, one of those last hairpins. So yeah, I mean, I like the challenge. I think you see it. You see a lot of different chassis at the front of the field. And yeah, I mean, it's one of these tracks that I would say is definitely a driver's track. And you gotta adapt the car and the setup to your strengths and kind of figure out, like we were talking in that last turn, like, do we just commit to go into first gear and just make it work, or is there something else we can do with the chassis setup and the way we drive it to make that second gear and that roll onto the straightaway maybe a little bit better?
AJ, over to you. We kind of saw 2 different sides of you today, right? Obviously, you were happy after qualifying, maybe not so happy after the first heat, much happier in the second heat. Now that you kind of now that you've seen how the inside lane has kind of progressed, is it much of a factor anymore to start inside versus outside?
Not so much anymore. Obviously, I was super happy with the pole position. Yesterday we were fast and then kind of missed it at the end of the day, so a little question mark coming in the day, so that was great to get out of the way. And then first seat, I've just kind of always been able to pick the lane, and at this track, particularly early on in the weekend, there's just a lot of marbles down the inside, and the braking zone's pretty much on the outside line where the rubber is. So lost the first hole shot as predicted on that first start. So it was frustrating that's kind of how that race went. Lost my cool a little bit, and then recouped, just kind of forgot about the whole where I'm going to start, just focus on the race. And after I did that, I actually got the hole shot the second time, had better traction, and Jay was fast behind me, and the guy behind him even faster, honestly. Just had to control the race. We're missing maybe a little bit, but we're right there, and it's looking good for tomorrow.
And Josh, over to you. For a driver that I think maybe the start of the year, there's been kind of like a lull for you, but the pace is starting to come back to you now. We kind of joked yesterday when I saw you, you're actually getting track time now. It feels like you never really get a chance to practice and get in the seat. Has that helped you now heading into this weekend, you feel?
Yeah, like I definitely say so. It's tough being a Canadian and like driving with an American team. I don't have any equipment at my house. Like I have my 2 rock shifters, but I don't own a shifter chassis. So if I want to go test, I have to make the 8.5-hour drive to Carlos's shop in New Jersey to be able to go out there and test. So just being in the go-kart is huge. Like you can see it, especially with Jay and Rousseau. Like they were over in Europe the last couple weeks driving in the European Championships, and these guys are in the kart all the time. So when you're driving against drivers like that or in the seat 24/7, it is a little difficult when you don't have track time. But to be able to get it and, to have the team around you to kind of lean on to help with, whatever you're kind of feeling, whether it's you, the go-kart, kind of what's going on. And, it's good to have Carlos too. He got out Thursday, was able to drive. So having that really helped, and that's kind of what also propelled me to being able to run so well at Florida Winter Tour. Same kind of thing. Carlos was on the racetrack, taking care of everything like that. So having the guys to lean on helps.
Well, turning towards you, AJ, once again, in terms of how things have gone, I was talking with one of your team members in CJ Bowman that mentioned some of that progression from yesterday and mentioning the meeting side in terms of the adjustment period. What has that adjustment period been in terms of making sure you find that speed now and knowing these conditions have been wildly varying so far here this weekend here at the racetrack?
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. Come off the track on Thursday, and it's just you're on ice. There's not that much grip, and I was scarily too fast. so kind of nervous when the grip comes down. So we made some changes, working with CJ and Mitch back at the tent. CJ's made a lot of progress, and working with him on changes, like he tries something, see if it works, and kind of what these guys get to do with the data and the setup and all that. It's been great. We're on the right track, definitely, but as racing drivers, we're always looking for that next step.
Well, turning over to you, Billy, in terms of things so far this weekend, you've looked mightily competitive. It's been very fierce in terms of the battles as well here. Now, how do you approach things knowing tomorrow you've got yourself in a good position with the heat, but knowing it could be a challenge tomorrow? What goes to the mindset for the races when you have the big points on the line tomorrow with the 25-lapper tomorrow?
I mean, for me, the mindset's the easy part. The hard part is making the go-kart fast all the time. So, I mean, I've been doing this, I always joke that I'm the old guy in the class. But, yeah, I mean, you do it for long enough. I mean, points are points. At the end of the day, the go-kart's got to be fast. The driving's got to be good. I joke with Carlos, the motor's been fantastic since we got here. Sometimes a little bit too fast trying to get the power down, especially when it's slippery. But, no, I mean, however things shake out, I mean, obviously, you don't want to take risks, if it's not there. And so, like even in the first heat and the second heat, like I knew after a couple laps, like, man, I just don't have it right now. So, I'm going to, when somebody pokes a nose or like when Josh shows his nose, like, hey, there's moments in time where I'm like, okay, I'm going to let him go, maybe see and kind of study where they're doing better. Or, like in that race, I already knew where I was, struggling. So I'm going to let them go, just kind of try to salvage what I can, make the changes that I already knew I needed to make. And then, yeah, pretty much come back tomorrow with, a little bit more fired up.
So what do you feel needs to be adjusted for tomorrow? What have you picked up on the studying based on your competitors for tomorrow?
That's a good question. So what's cool is like, we come back after the heat race and debrief with Josh and Truly and a couple other drivers. And I mean, going back to even last year and some stuff that Josh was struggling with the chassis and kind of what the car's doing underneath me. So we're actually going to make a change that Josh made last year that helped him a bunch, which it's a pretty substantial change that I normally wouldn't make. But, when all the signs are there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm waiting for the track to come to me and it's time to get up and go. So yeah, we're gonna meet the track where it's at. And then, yeah, I mean, like I said, after doing this for so long, you kind of have the experience to know, like, whether you have it or not. And like I said, when the car's fast and you feel good, you'll make those moves and you'll put yourself in the right position, to take advantage of it.
One more for me here, Billy. You're coming in second this weekend in the championship. The championship points leader, Gavin Bailiff, you and him were pretty close in that second heat race. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so Josh threw it under, and that turn, when you get stuck on the outside, it's easy to get, lose another one to the guy behind. So I saw him poking nose. Made him drive a little bit over into the dirty line, trying to see if I could outbrake him into the horseshoe. He got the position. I gave him a couple little taps. I mean, nothing serious. I knew in that point, like, hey, this, my car was basically going backwards at that point. So, yeah, I mean, I just gave him a couple little taps, let him know I was there. But I knew at that point, hey, I'm just going to kind of ride this thing home in sixth and, be better for tomorrow.
Is there any tough love there, or are you guys, back on a good terms?
We're super cordial off the track. Like, it's really not a big deal. Hey, if it's a main event, last lap, going for the lead or a podium, things are different. But in that situation, again, like, I have to have the car and the equipment and the driving to put myself in that position and to make sure that, I can take advantage of it. And when that's not the case, like in that last heat race, like, hey, I'm just going to, do the best I can with what I got. I'm not going to, take an unnecessary risk or try to do something, that's going to cost me more than what it's worth.
Last thing here to wrap things up here, boys. Same question for the three of you guys. We'll start with Josh. What would be a successful weekend for you and your team here this weekend?
I mean, successful weekend for myself, like we spoke about in Houston. I want a podium finish. That's something that I'd like to accomplish. I think this weekend with the package that we have, it's very doable. Carlos, on the other hand, wants to win. He doesn't really care who it is, whether it's me or Billy. But of course, being the driver under the Maranello tent, I think it'd be better if we were to do that, just for Carlos and for Nathan, for the team, morale-wise. But the podium's what I want. I haven't been able to do a full Pro Tour campaign. So this is like my first year being able to do that. Typically, it's just been stars. So if we can do that, I'd call this a successful weekend and then take the momentum into Newcastle.
AJ?
Yeah, successful weekend. It's really getting the job done on Sunday. All these race weekends through the past several years, I've gotten some done, but a lot of them on Sunday haven't gone my way. So as a team, it's something we got to work on. That's what we're focusing on Thursday. And yeah, for our mindset, it's win or go home. And I've always said I hate getting second more than I like to win. So I don't want to get second.
Billy?
Likewise. I mean, we're here to win. That's a fact. And especially being a little bit fired up after having it slip away in Houston. I'm here to win, and I want to win a championship. Those are my real goals. In karting, it's the one thing I haven't done yet. So that's the target. Obviously, when you're on the track in those moments, like I always say, like, man, if I have the piece and I have the equipment, I'm going to take my shot. If it's not there, I'm going to do my best to take what we can, try to get a podium, salvage what we can. And, we're always learning about the chassis, about the tire, about the tracks, about the conditions. Whether you win or podium or top 5, as long as you bring the car home and you learn from it and you continue to develop, which, again, as a company, we're in a young stage, still 5 years into the program. So doing what we're doing, I think, is really good. So, yeah, one way or another, we continue into the future stronger and better.
You were close to that championship in 2023. It just slipped out of your hands right at the last race in Newcastle. How much would it mean for you to take the championship lead coming out of Cincinnati?
It'd be huge. I mean, I don't really – in the past, I would say the pressure really wouldn't bother me much, with the whole Factory Karts program and what we've been doing. I would say it means a lot more now than it ever has in the past, whether it's lining up on the grid for Supernats or, going for a championship on the national level, especially with this field and this caliber of drivers. I mean, it's been racing against these guys for a long time, but now when you throw in half a dozen, European guys that are, fighting for championships in Europe, factory drivers, the level that we're at in America, I'd also say thanks to you guys and, the hype that what we have here on a national stage is higher than ever. But what it means for me and what it means for a brand is also higher than ever. So, I wouldn't say feeling the pressure or getting nervous, but it's just like more meaningful than it ever has been in the past. So, for me, that's that driving force and that motivation that, even at 33 years old, I'm waking up early and, been hitting the gym lately. And yeah, I mean, I'm hungry for this thing more than I ever have in the past.
There you go. And best of luck for you guys tomorrow. That'll be it for our press conference here on the Saturday afternoon for Pro Shifter.
So well spoken, Billy. So well spoken.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. Long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I went to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like $20 a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like $50 a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion, Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to KA100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels. directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself, quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started with podium ceremonies here from the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati. Round number 3 of the 2025 SuperKarts USA Pro Tour. We're going to kick things off with KA100 Junior presented by TKG BeerAlertUSA.com. Third place today, Max Weiland. P2 today in KA100 Junior's main event, Isaac Malcott. And your main event winner in KA100 Junior, Alexander Vinchev. All right, boys, you know the drill. You've all stood here before. Trophies above your heads. Give it up one more time for your KA100 Junior podium. Next up will be Velocity Racing Micro Swift with our youngest stars on the SKUSA Pro Tour. KA Junior, KA Senior, X30 Junior, Pro X30. Make sure to step off to the side of the podium once you get your trophies. We got to make sure you're ready to get your prizes for your classes, either being over 30 or being pro. Micro Swift, presented by Velocity Racing. Third place today, Brody Stoffel. Second place today in Velocity Racing Micro Swift, Lennox Lockhart. And it's a first career SKUSA Pro Tour win for this young man. Give it up for your main event winner, Aiden Go! All right, boys, trophies up. Let's give it up for your Micro Swift main event podium. Next up will be the Rocket Racing Company Master Shifter Division. So Master Shifter will be next up for our round 3 main event podiums. Third place today in Rocket Racing Company Master Shifter, Justin Kelly. P2 today in Master Shifter, the number 695, Scott Hargrove. And what a race this was here to close it off. A spread out pre-final and an all-out dogfight in the main. Your main event winner, Skitchy Barnes. All right, fellas, appreciate you all being dressed for the occasion. Let's raise those trophies up above your heads. Give it up one more time for your Master Shifter podium. Tied with KA Junior at a sellout division. 45 total drivers for Nash Motorsports KA100 Senior. So we'll move on to them next up. Third place today in Nash Motorsports KA Senior, Fernando Luque. Second place today in KA100 Senior, Jose Carlos Hernandez. And your main event winner in Nash Motorsports KA Senior, Paulie Massimino. All right, fellas, trophies go right up to the sky. We'll let Paulie hop up to the top step of the podium. Give it up one more time for your KA100 Senior top 3. Rollison Performance Group X30 Junior will be next up. KA Senior, you guys have to come over and get registered for your prizes on the back side of the table. And X30 Junior, you'll be doing the same. Third place today in RPG X30 Junior, Travis Pettit. P2 today in RPG X30 Junior, Max Weiland. And much like Max, it's a double podium. It's also a double main event win day. Your winner, Alexander Vinchev. All right, fellas, raise them up. Give it up for your top 3 in your X30 Junior main event. Speed Concepts Racing Mini Swift is next up. This class is always unpredictable, and it provides some of the most entertaining races. Today was no different. 3rd place today in Speed Concepts Racing Mini Swift, Enzo De Janeiro. P2 today in SCR Mini Swift, Jaden Francisco. And your main event winner, driving for Team Bannock from Curacao, Win Gottschalk. What a battle this race was. Fellas, raise those trophies to the sky. Let's give it up for our Mini Swift podium. And once again, our Pro X30 drivers, you'll report off to the left side of the stage to get registered for your prizes. Kart CRG USA Pro X30 closed out our day. They'll close out our podium ceremonies and coverage for the day as well. What a race it was to close out the afternoon. 3rd place today, driving for Forward Direction Motorsports, Ruben Moya. Second place today and the closest finish on the day, P2, Austin Garrison. And in a drag race of the line by just 2/100ths of a second, your Pro X30 main event winner, Ryan Norberg. You can't ask for a better main to close things out. Mini Swift and Pro X30 were phenomenal. Fellas, get those trophies up above your heads. And crowd, one more time, let's send off Saturday. Give it up for your Pro X30 podium. That'll conclude the live coverage from the day, everyone. We hope you join us again first thing tomorrow morning. We'll have live coverage from round 4 of the 2025 Super Karts USA Pro Tour. Check, Riley. Am I muted? Are we muted? Riley? Or Carson or Jake, any of you guys got ears on? I'm going to assume we're off.